Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take.
And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, topic one, me and JB are going to talk about Week 8. JB, what's one topic from Week 8 you want to discuss?
I'm going to start off with the Tennessee Titans and Atlanta game. Talking about that young star in Tennessee right now, Will Levis. He looked good. He looked really good. They are his first time starter, probably sometime or better than some. I mean, he went 19 for 29, 238 yards and 4 touchdowns, way better than what Ryan Tannehill did. I mean, he put that offense alive ever since he went on the field. Because Derrick Henry got over 100 yards. D Hop looked like his normal self with 3 touchdowns, 128 yards, and 4 catches. And the longest one that he got was 61 yards. I mean, that Tennessee offense came alive when he was on the field. Even Malik Willis didn't do it. Ryan Tannehill definitely didn't do it. It's like whenever Will Levis went on that field, and when Derrick Henry got his 100 yards, he only did that once this season. And that was against Cincinnati. I mean, frankly, he didn't get a touchdown, but he only got it once, and that's when, like I said, they won against Cincinnati when they only had 122 rushing yards. But other than that, like nothing. Derrick Henry hasn't done nothing, but ever since he went on the field, I mean, it's looking. I think not the future, but probably for a while, it's the Tennessee Titans are going to be looking pretty good since Will Levis is now probably going to be the main person as a starter.
And I agree with you. He had a very good game, but there's no film on him right now. So these defensive coaches, these defensive coordinators, the head coaches, they're going to get some film on this guy. And when I watched his college film, I've seen a lot of mistakes. I've seen a lot of bad decision making, some accuracy issues at times. He has a very strong arm, however. I'll give him that. There's no film on him. I'm not going to stand and say that I think he's the future. I still think he's going to be a major draft bust, but I am going to give the kid credit. He played an outstanding game. He's definitely earned the right to be the Titans quarterback moving forward because Ryan Tannehill, the Titans got his best days. They were a 1 seed. They made the playoffs multiple times. They got the best out of Ryan Tannehill, but it is time to move on to Will Levis and at least see what he can do because Ryan Tannehill, yeah, there's not much there right now.
Will Levis even doubled his touchdowns this season, and it's week 9. Like,
yeah, Tannehill only has 2.
Yeah, and 6 interceptions. So I think it's done for Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans.
I agree. It's time for them to move on. They have some talent on the team. They really do. They have a decent head coach with Mike Vrabel. They have D Hop. They have Derrick Henry, who's a Hall of Fame running back, 1,000-yard rusher, going to be an 1,000-yard rusher again this season. So yeah, I mean, it's time for them to move on to the young kid.
Yep.
And the team I want to talk about, I really don't want to talk about them because it drives me to drink, is my Green Bay Packers. Because right now, I didn't want to get my short take. I didn't want to get too fired up. I didn't want to let the emotions make me say something stupid or something unreasonable because I would have. So I took a few hours. I didn't want to get emotional, so I left it simply to the numbers. I'm not going to leave it to the numbers today. I'm throwing the numbers out the window because right now we are not playing Green Bay Packers football. We have not scored more than 20 points in 3 games. The last time we scored 20 points was on September 28th. It's November 1st now. Green Bay Packer football is the opposite of Pittsburgh Steeler football. Pittsburgh Steeler is grinded out, ugly game, physical, boom, boom, boom. Green Bay Packer football is offense, score 30, 40 points, boom, Hall of Fame quarterback, bang, 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 bang. Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Erling Sharp, Art Chimera, You had Amon Green, Brett Favre, Bart Starr, Paul Hornung. You had all these Packer legendary offensive players that have been great. And now their offense can't even score 20 points. We're 2-5 right now. And listen to our next games. Listen to this. We have the Rams this Sunday. That's a winnable game. And after that, mind you, we're 2-5. Go to Pittsburgh. Home against the Chargers. We go to Detroit. Then Kansas City comes to town. That's not looking good, is it?
Nope. Not at all. It's looking kind of depressing, honestly.
It is looking very depressing right now. We're not playing Packer football. I can't believe this. The defense, out of the offense and defense, the defense is easily the better part of the team. Because you even look at the Viking game, we only gave up 24 points. It isn't like they played atrocious.
Not
They
anymore,
didn't.
though. Defense is probably
Oh,
not
yeah,
going to
with
look
Kirk
good
Cousins.
anymore.
Yeah, but they did get Josh Dobbs, which is interesting.
Hmm.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. I do want to talk about also the Rasul Douglas trade with the Packers, because this is the most embarrassing part. I've seen a report that the Packers are going to be free agent, they're going to be trade deadline, they're going to get involved this year. No, we're not. And when we did, all we did was give away one of our best corners. Rasul Douglas was sent to the Buffalo Bills for a 3rd-round pick. We also gave him a 5th-round pick. Did you know that, looking at his statistics, that Rasul Douglas has 10 interceptions over the last 3 seasons and has allowed 59.8 completion percentage as the nearest defender for Next Gen Stats. He only allows 57% of passes to be completed in zone coverage as the nearest defender. He is one of our best coverage defenders, and we trade him away. Why? So now all we can do is put Carrington Valentine opposite Jair Alexander because Eric Stokes is on IR for the 2nd time this season.
Rough times in the Green Bay Packers world.
Yes.
Really rough.
Yes, it is. I'll get into that a little bit later. Before I get on of an entire ramble about the Packers, because I could go the entire podcast. Because this could possibly be the worst Packer team I have watched since Aaron Rodgers' first season in 2008, when we won 6 games. And I don't even know of right now if we're capable of winning that many, if you want me to be straight up honest with you. So, moving forward, because here I go again. Me and JB are going to move on to week 9 because I would like to forget about week 8. So with that, as you can see, me and JB had better weeks. Both of us had a winning record. JB was 9-7 last week. I was 12-4. So for the season, JB is now 72-50, and I am 77-45. All of our different games last week went in my favor. Hoping the football gods see it that way this week as well.
He felt
Football
sorry
gods.
for you with the Packers game.
It did. Yeah, well, you know what they say, the football gods giveth, and then they taketh away. Moving
Very
forward,
true. Very
we're
true.
going to jump in. We're going to jump straight into Pittsburgh because Thursday night this week is Tennessee at Pittsburgh. So, JB, who do you got?
Even though we lost to a rough game in week 8, but I'm still gonna go with my Pittsburgh Steelers winning against the Tennessee Titans. Even though they Will Levis had a very strong start against the Atlanta Falcons. But I'm also going to put out this way that Cameron Hayward, is off and he is playing. So that is one of our edge rushers coming back. And it's looking good as our defense wise. And Levi Wallace, he is questionable. But the only person that I am really concerned about is Minka Fitzpatrick. he is already been ruled out of the game already.
Damn teams got all the sports betting and
Sorry, y'all are getting sports betting from my my phone here. I'm doing
Sports
some research
bet.
that JB's talking.
But yeah, with Minka Fitzpatrick, he's already status is already out, and that was on. He did it on 2 days ago when he was already got set out. So literally right on Monday. So so it's sad to see one of our main stars not playing, and especially for Minka because we really need him in our secondary right now. But I'm still gonna go with Tennessee. Well,
Okay.
not Tennessee, but I'm still gonna go with Pittsburgh Steelers. With this
Okay.
game.
Okay. Now, what's the status of Kenny Pickett? That's the real question
He's
for
playing.
me.
He's playing.
And okay, so I actually agree with you. I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game, and here's why. Because Pittsburgh, ugly football. We talked about that. I picked Jacksonville last week. I picked Jacksonville because I think they're simply the better football team. I told you I think Jacksonville will win this game. I didn't think it would be like super close, but I didn't think it'd be a big blowout. And it wasn't a big blowout, but me and you watched that game together and it wasn't super close either. So it was truly about what I expected, kind of ugly, kind of a rainy day in Pittsburgh. They weren't able to get the win, but it's against Tennessee. So you look here. Let's not freak out with Tennessee because this is their first win in 3 weeks. They lost their previous 2 games before this. Yes, Will Levis looks good, but Mike Tomlin coach defense, Mike Tomlin coach team. I think Pittsburgh's going to be able to bounce back and win an ugly football game against a Titans team with a young quarterback. D-Hop and Derrick Henry had outstanding games. D-Hop, multiple touchdowns. Derrick Henry, over 100 yards rushing. But I don't think they'll be able to do that against that Pittsburgh defense. Give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I'm going back to the Steelers and Jags. The only touchdown that the Jags got was in the third quarter, and the safety underbit that touchdown, and it screwed up Joey Porter's that it screwed up both of their coverage, and that led straight to Travis Etienne's for a 56-yard touchdown, and that
Right.
was. If that safety wouldn't have bit down way too far, really close to Joey Porter, I mean, if he would have just stayed up top, that wouldn't have been a thing. Honestly, if we're going back to it, if Trevor Lawrence would have just thrown the ball to Travis Etienne anyways, it probably wouldn't have gotten picked off, and we probably would have won the game. But I mean, with everything
I don't
else,
know about
it's
that.
I mean,
Mitch
we
Trubisky did not
were
look-
9-3, and then George Pickens got a 22-yard touchdown. If everything like it should, if that pick would have went, and George Pickens got that 22-yard touchdown, we were up 10-9.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, we probably would have had more leverage if our safety did not bit down a little too much. But that's just me. But
And I think it was definitely an ugly football game. I think Jacksonville, unfortunately for you, was just a better team. But speaking of better teams, this is a really good one because this is a overseas game. This is a 9:30 a.m. Sunday game. So who you got? The Miami Dolphins or the Kansas City Chiefs?
well, I think Kansas City is very, very irritated that they lost to the Broncos. I mean, well, Taylor Swift wasn't there, so that's probably a huge letdown for the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce. But I think ever since they played against Miami, it's always a tough battle against both of them. But honestly, I'm probably gonna go with. I'm probably gonna go with Miami on this one.
Okay. Okay, so you got Kansas City losing 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Both teams are 6-2. Everyone's stats is actually looking good, but I mean, it's. I'm not saying that everyone is. Uh, Kansas City is on a downslope. No, it's just the fact that I think Miami will have uh, a better offensive chance than what the Kansas City will do.
See, I actually disagree with you, and we have our first different game of the week because I have Kansas City in this game. Kansas City only scored 9 points. Looking at Kansas City here, Patrick Mahomes did not throw a single touchdown. That breaks a streak for him. You look, Kansas City still 6-2. Kansas City, yeah, listen to this. Kansas City scored less points than the Packers. Packers had 10. Kansas City only scored 9 points. Patrick Mahomes for the day, 24 for 38, 240 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And you look, no one on the rushing had more than 40 yards, and Travis Kelce only had 58 receiving yards. Great teams like Kansas City don't flop twice. They had a bad game. They lost to the Broncos for the first time in over 10 games. It was an anomaly. Anything can happen. Everyone has a bad week. Yes, Miami did bounce back and were able to beat New England 31-17 after losing to Philadelphia, so they were able to bounce back. Miami's still a good team. Miami's still a Super Bowl contender, but I think Kansas City, this is going to be my hard take of the week. You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kansas City blows them out.
Hmm.
I think Kansas City wins by at least 14 points. They're going to come out pissed off. Their offense is too explosive. Pat Mahomes is too good. Travis Kelce's too good. Andy Reid's too good of a coach. With Chris Jones on defense, the defense has been what's winning Kansas City some of these games. Their offense has actually kind of been at times. I think with all of that combined, I think they're going to put a good performance.
Okay.
So I think Kansas City wins in a blowout.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll have to keep track of that one. That'll be for bragging rights next week. Moving
right.
forward, normal time games finally. The Minnesota Vikings at the Atlanta Falcons.
With the Vikings actually ruled out Kirk Cousins because he is on a season-ending injury. I got to look at I forgot who their backup quarterback is.
I mean, they might start Josh Dobbs. They did just trade for him.
Oh, okay. I did not see that trade.
Oh yeah, that was a big one. I seen that, and it didn't really surprise me because, like we said, Josh Dobbs has proven himself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you look, Minnesota's probably not quite ready to give up on the season quite yet because they've won a few in a row, so they're probably still trying to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I think Minnesota is going to win this game.
Okay. Wow, even with the Kirk Cousins injury, no Justin Jefferson?
Yep. I think that. I mean, well, they pulled off 3 wins. I mean, even though 2 of them were with Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins did push the Green Bay Packer game.
He played most of that game. He won that game.
But with everything else, I think Minnesota does have momentum. They have almost, I want to say not everything in their favor, but it's but everything's looking good for the Minnesota Vikings right now. They won 3 in a row, in which I am honestly absolutely shocked that they have actually won 3 in a row, including the 49ers game. But yeah, I think Minnesota is on a nice little hot start right now.
And they absolutely are. But I think their injuries right now are a little too much to overcome. Because you look at Atlanta, Atlanta's actually first in their division right now, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
So Atlanta's nothing to scoff at. They're getting ready to start Taylor Heineke. So you look at Atlanta, they did lose to the Titans, but Will Levis had an outstanding performance. I actually think Atlanta wins this game. I think Kirk Cousins being out for the season, are they going to start Josh Dobbs? They probably will, I mean, they probably should. Justin Jefferson's out. They really still don't have much of a running game right now. I think these injuries right now for the Vikings are going to be a little too much. Because you even look at the Falcons. The Falcons have the same record as the Vikings. They're both 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
So the Falcons have at least a decent team themselves. The Falcons have less injuries right now, especially to their star players. I think due to injuries, Atlanta wins.
Okay.
Okay. We might. Ooh, this is another good one. There's a lot of good games this week. The Seattle Seahawks at the Baltimore Ravens.
The bird feud. The
Their
bird
bird
battle.
feud.
The bird battles.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm probably going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I'm saying the AFC North, they're this is the only division that all four teams has a winning record right now.
Yes.
So
Yes. That division that's a stacked division. That's going to be a good division all the way through the season.
and I'm looking at their injury report. The Baltimore Ravens are in all questionable. Their offensive tackle, their cornerback, their safety, running back, and receiver, which Ronnie Stanley, Rocky Sin, Marcus Williams, Gus Edwards, and Odell are all questionable for the game, which I'm pretty sure probably all of them are going to play, but probably have a little play time just to get the feel and double check to see how they're feeling in that set. But for me, I'm still probably going to go with the Baltimore Ravens because right now they are on a tear.
Yes.
So
Baltimore is on a tear.
and with especially versus the Lions, they scored 38-6. So I'm with that game, I was really surprised. So they give me the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, we're back on track together because I think Baltimore wins this game as well. I will give credit to the Cardinals. They played Baltimore well, 31-24. So it was only a one-possession game. Lamar Jackson came back to earth a little bit, but he was able to have 18 for 27, 157 yards, and one passing touchdown. He added 17 yards on the ground. Gus Edwards had 3 touchdowns. I sigh because in my other fantasy league that you're not the other one I'm in, not our league, but the other one.
Mm-hmm.
In that league, I had Gus Edwards, and I put him on the bench.
Mm.
And I'm struggling in that league. I'm 1-7 right now. Here's why. Side story. I drafted Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
I drafted Saquon Barkley, who's missed time. I drafted T. Higgins, who has had a horrible season. And I drafted Aaron Rodgers.
That's a horrible
So I'm
start for
Other
that
league.
season. Yeah, horrible start.
But here's the good news. Here's the good news. In our league, other league, I am doing just fine. So there is good news there. Anyway, back to it though. I mean, Seattle. Yeah, Seattle is still a good team. They were able to beat the Browns, and they actually able to beat their first, as you say, good team. You know what I mean? Kind of proving themselves, and it was good to see those Seahawks throwback uniforms. I like those. Seattle's still a good team. Geno Smith, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Got to kind of cut those turnovers down a little bit, but he had a good game. Was able to lead them to a victory. Seattle's still 5-2, and I have to state something as well. Did you know the 49ers are not first in the division?
Who?
You know who is?
Wait, what'd you say? Seattle?
So yeah, Seattle's first in the division.
Hmm.
They're 5-2. The 49ers are 5-3 because of bye weeks and whatnot.
Yep.
But still,
With that bye
you
week.
got to think about. You got to think about that. The Seahawks are the number one in the division, so they're kind of a sleeper team right now. Not really a lot of people are talking about them.
Right.
So I think they could be a dark horse. I just think Baltimore's a little better. Give me the Ravens.
Right.
Moving forward,
Next game.
here's what's the Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Cleveland on this one. Which I did probably see. Oh, nope, never mind. So with Arizona Cardinals trading away their their starting quarterback. I'm just gonna say Cleveland Browns are going to win this game because
It is to be noted.
they got Clayton Tune. It's a rookie this year. 5th round pick. And it's not looking good for the Seattle Seahawks. Not Seattle Seahawks.
You mean
Yes, the Arizona Cardinals. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Seattle Seahawks logo and
there it is.
my eyes telling
JB's
me.
blooper.
Yep, I'm doing it again. But
His bloopers.
Yep, there's going to be a lot of them. But yeah,
It's all
Browns.
right. I was
Browns
playing.
are. Yeah, the Browns are definitely going to win this game because I don't think that rookie quarterback is not going to do anything because he only has one stat. He is 1 for 1, so he's 100% with only 4 yards.
Hey.
So he completed his first pass in the NFL. So congratulations, Tune. I'm very proud of you. Hope you do good against the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. The Cleveland Browns defense is going to be too much for him to handle. So give me the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, yeah, I have Cleveland too. Deshaun Watson status, according to the Associated Press of Cleveland, they're reporting that he returned to practice Wednesday after only playing 12 snaps in the last 4 games. Watson is status for the next game is still unclear. Excuse me, I got into that a lot last week. So if you want to see my Deshaun Watson rant, go to our last podcast. I'm not going to get into that again. He's a quitter. He's a loser. He's a rapist. He's all those things. He has no place being in the NFL at all. He's not an NFL quarterback. I would take Jordan Love and Zach Wilson over Deshaun Watson because at least those guys want to play. With that, I would even take Caleb Toon because, like you said, he's the GOAT. He has a higher completion percentage than Tom Brady. No, but for real, I mean, even if he doesn't play, reports are out of Arizona that Kyler Murray is probably not want to play till Week 10. With that, you have Caleb Toon. Cleveland lost a close game against Seattle. They're able to bounce back. That defense is too good. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more about the Deshaun Watson, but everyone knows what I'm going to say. But I'm not going to say it anymore. But yeah, it's sad to see that Deshaun Watson is acting this way for whatever injury that he has right now.
He doesn't have an injury. He already got his bag.
Exactly. But
so we're going to move on because this next one I don't even want to talk about it. I would like to skip over this game. However, I'm not a pussy. The LA Rams at the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams.
Games at Lambeau. Not like it matters because he lost at Lambeau too.
Well, both teams lost. Puka Nacua and Cooper Cup did not show anywhere against the Dallas Cowboys at all. But even though everyone is questionable on the, I think they're all questionable. Everyone is questionable. So, I mean, there's a good sign for both teams. Everyone is questionable. But I still think, I think it's Aaron Jones that's, the hamstring. I still believe that he should sit out until that his hamstring is 100% healthy, but that's just me. But I know he won't, because that's probably
He's missed.
That's probably one of the main reasons why that he's not looking good this season, because of that hamstring injury.
He did miss a few games from it though.
Not
Already.
enough though, because apparently it still hurt. So I just
Or he's washed out.
that too. But
I mean,
because honestly, I'm tired of seeing him on the injury report and still saying questionable. Just sit out until it's 100% healthy. It's a hamstring. It needs heal. Hamstrings needs to heal up. If you keep running and getting tackled and doing all the moves, it's not gonna get better. It's gonna be the exact same way, and you're gonna be in pain until it gets healed. Just sit out. Just sit out. Man, how I don't know if it's hard, but just sit out. Anyways. But for me, I'm probably gonna go with the Rams. Like you said, it's not Packers football. We don't know where it's at, and plus they lost their main corner. Even though Jair Alexander is questionable as well. Starting today, that is all four of the people that got on the questionable today. But I'm still gonna go with the Rams. Jordan Love's not looking like himself right now. The entire offense is not looking like themselves. Defense, you're still having linebackers getting matched up with a receiver. So I mean that's probably something they still got to look into. But
listen.
But yeah, just
There's
give.
a lot.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm still gonna pick the Rams over the Green Bay Packers this game.
You know, there's a lot of things to look into in Green Bay right now because, boy, this team could possibly be bad. Like I've said, we're 2-5. We have recently lost to the Raiders, who just fired their coach, GM, and offensive coordinator. They're a dumpster fire. We've lost to the Broncos this season. They're a dumpster fire. We haven't scored more than 20 points since September. There's no reason for me to pick Green Bay. But you know what? I'm going to pick them anyway. And not because I'm picking it with my heart, not because my brain says to, because I think I physically have to this week. Because if we lose this game, we'll be 2-6 with our next game against Pittsburgh, the Chargers, the Lions, and Chiefs, like I've said before. So you look at that, we lose this game, 6. We could possibly be 2-10 going into week 13 if we lose this Rams game. I can't accept that in my heart. I can't accept that in my soul. If we lose this week, I am going to go on a rampage, on a short take, and it's going to get ugly because we have to win this game. I have to pick Green Bay. I just have to.
Because right now, if you lose against the Rams, you guys will be tied with Chicago.
But you know, we still beat them.
But you're tied with Chicago. That's still, even though you won against them, that's probably the only bragging right that you have right now. Honestly.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but you're tied. You're right now. You're one lose away for being tied within your division with the Chicago Bears.
Yes. It isn't going to happen. Green Bay's going to win this.
I hope so. If not, is
It's going to
probably
happen.
is
They're going to be
oh
just fine. They're going to win this week. They're going to get back on track because they have to. Because I don't know what's going to happen if they don't.
you probably have to go to their meetings.
Oh, I'm an owner. I'll show up. Moving forward. Ooh, this is going to be a boring game. Buccaneers at the Texans.
Ooh, the Buccaneers. The good old Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield,
Tampa
Tom
Bay.
Brady 2.0, leading the march
Baker Mayfield,
to get
2.0,
back
Tom Brady Jr.
to back on the winning
Golden
streak.
Horses.
To need to get back on that winning streak. Man, I'm probably gonna go with the Houston. I'm probably gonna go with the Houston Texans in this game because
I mean, yeah.
because CJ Stroud is still looking amazing.
Mhm.
I mean, he only had what one turnover already. Yeah, one
Yes,
turnover
because
against the Saints. So
Right.
he only has one turnover. So, and even though they are 3-4, but this is a good team. And honestly, I would not have seen that CJ Stroud would be this good. Honestly. But yeah, give me the Texans.
And I have seen enough from CJ Stroud. I'm willing to say he's their franchise quarterback.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them a playoff team here in a year or two. They're still 3-4. They're doing much better even now than people thought they would. Stroud's obviously the rookie of the year choice still. Last game he was still 16 for 24, 140 passing yards. He did have 13 rushing yards, and he ran a touchdown in as well. So he was still able to score. The Panthers did win their first game of the season. So there will be no winless teams in the NFL this season with the Panthers winning their first game. So congratulations to Bryce Young winning your first start. He had a touchdown in his first start.
Against your good friend on the other end.
That's right. But I'm afraid that Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady Jr. gonna take a Super Bowl, gonna win the whole thing, gonna win 7 in a row. We gonna go all the way. I'm afraid my prediction was correct. They were fakers. They're on a losing streak now. Yeah, they did play Buffalo pretty well, but yeah, give me Houston. Excuse me. Ooh, moving on here. The Washington Commanders take command. Or the Patriots. Excuse me, Jesus.
Oh,
Are you going to take command?
I'm probably gonna go with the Washington Commanders over the New England Patriots.
Okay.
I'm
and
going
damn it.
with it. I think Sam Howell is a lot better than Mac Jones. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
stats even prove it. For right now in the season, Sam Howell has 2,146 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, where Mac Jones only has 1,641, 9 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. And even their run game is better than the Patriots right now. So
And that's saying something because the Commanders have a horrible running game.
Yep. So yeah,
Okay.
give me the Commanders taking command against the New England Patriots.
See, I don't think they're going to take command of anything, because you look at the Commanders. Yes, they played the Eagles good. They only lost by 7 points. They played the Eagles good again for a second time, but they haven't won a game since October 15th. They're on a 2-game losing streak. That Giants game is still abysmal, and you can play a team good, but if you're not winning, who cares? Truly, if you're not winning, who cares? New England was able to upset Buffalo. New England did lose to Miami. Matt Jones had a decent performance, 19 for 29, 161, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I just truly think that the Commanders are more of in a rebuilding state. I think they're better. New England's better coached. I think the Patriots win a very ugly football game.
Okay.
We got some different games again this week.
A lot of them. Quite a few.
Risky for you because I could pull away here a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you already pulled away right now, but
Hey, the season's still young, man. There's only a 5-game difference. We've predicted 122 games at this point. There's only a 5-game difference. So, speaking of games, moving forward, the Chicago Bears or the Saints?
the Bears or the Saints? Oh. Well, Justin Fields says, or he is questionable for his thumb. But see, on today's, what's it today? Yeah, today is Wednesday. He had non-participant for the walkthrough practice. So I don't know. He's still may not play.
He's not going to play. I'm reading an article from ESPN, Courtney Cronin, that Bears rookie quarterback Tyson Bagent will get another start in place of Fields when the team travels to New Orleans to face the Saints in Week 9.
So yeah, there we
Which
go.
Matt Evans, yeah, said that he's week to week.
So with that being said, even though they won against the Colts, or the Saints winning against the Colts with I'm gonna go with the Saints because it's
Me too.
there's like I said, I betted. All right, no, I didn't bet. I chose Chicago one time, and they let me down. And it was literally on the last possession of the game, and they choked it. So so Bears fans, you can screw off. Your organization sucks. So give me
Yes, it
the
did.
New Orleans Saints.
I 100% agree with you. Tyson Bagent against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football was not super impressive. However, I owe the New Orleans Saints an apology. I prematurely counted them out, and I now look stupid because they are tied for first in their division again. They just scored 38 points in the Saints. Derek Carr looked like himself. 19 for 27, 310 passing yards, 2 tutties, no interceptions. So when I finally start to lose a little bit of faith in the Saints, they tie their division first. They go out there and they almost score 40 on the Colts. So I apologize. I did pick the Saints to win this division. It's looking like that may be a possibility again. So I owe them an apology for giving up on them too soon. Give me the Saints.
Okay.
Moving forward, Indianapolis Colts or the Carolina Panthers?
The Colts. I'm sorry, but even though the Panthers did get their first win of the season, and I am truly glad that they did, because there are quite a few games where it looked like they had it. They were just down by a field goal or just a one drive possession, and then second half happened and they just get blown out. But the Colts are looking really, really good, even though their record shows that they are 3-5. But the games that they lost was actually pretty close. It's probably not except for the Jaguars. But that Browns game, they should have won against that because of those few penalties that the refs gave the Colts. Literally,
Yeah.
change that huge outcome. And then they lost to the Saints with probably just, they looked probably last minute because they were down by 1 in the first half, and they were. So it's just the second half that they're actually really getting screwed on. But I'm still gonna go with the Colts. Carolina is probably not that good enough to actually go 2 in a row, especially with a a good high powered defense and I want to say a capitalizing offense, but they know how to march down the field and actually get points on the board. So give me the Indianapolis Colts.
We're on the same page here again, and it's actually disappointing because Anthony Richardson, I still will say this, is the best quarterback in this draft class. I'm not budging on that. Unfortunately, he's hurt. He needs to watch himself, learn how to slide, because I would love to see what he could do with Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. Because those three back there, could you imagine? I talked about that before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're both back there because Taylor's back and Moss has kind of developed a little bit, now that they're back, now Richardson's hurt. But it's disappointing to see, but even though Gardner Minshew still looked good, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 213 passing yards. Jonathan Taylor had 95 rushing yards. Zach Moss had a touchdown rushing as well. So then you look at the Carolina Panthers. They only scored 15 points in a win. Bryce Young has looked decent. 1 touchdown, 235 passing yards. But the Panthers can't run the football. Their leading rusher was Hubbard with 28 rushing yards. He averaged 1.9 yards a carry. They can't run the football. Indianapolis can. They'll be able to run the clock out too much. Give me the Colts. Well, here's one I think we might be a little different on. The New York Giants or the Vegas Raiders?
Ooh, 2 horrible teams.
Yes.
I'm honestly probably gonna go with the Raiders.
Wow, okay. I actually thought we'd be different on this one, and we're not.
No, with losing against the New York Giants, it's it's not a really tough decision because New York Giants are horrible. They can't do anything run game wise. Even with Barkley getting 110 carries so far in Week 9 and only 412 rushing yards. Garoppolo is a lot better than Jones.
Garoppolo's not playing. Fox Sports, NFL.com reports Raiders bench Jimmy Garoppolo, rookie Aiden O'Connell to take over quarterback duties.
Oh, whoopsie. There we go. But even though O'Connell's a rookie, clearly he probably can do a lot better than what Daniel Jones is doing right now, with so far only 2 touchdowns in the season, with and 6 interceptions. So, but give me the Raiders, even though with that rookie quarterback, I think at least he will probably throw the ball to Adams a lot more than what Garoppolo has been doing.
Oh, yeah. Me and you both know from watching Purdue, as avid Purdue fans, that Aiden O'Connell's not afraid to throw the ball deep and take chances. So, you look at the Raiders, yes. They did just fire their general manager, they fired their offensive coordinator, and they fired head coach Josh McDaniel. Fire Canada. Can't forget.
Oh, you hear it later.
I
I'll say it. I will still say it every day until it happens.
But you look at the Giants. Tyrod Taylor is injured. Daniel Jones is injured. They signed Matt Barkley for quarterback depth. So who's going to be their starter? The Giants aren't a very good team anyway. The Raiders have an interim head coach right now. The Raiders do have a lot more talent on the roster. They have Josh Jacobs. They do have Max Crosby. They have Devontae Adams. So they have a talented team. There are a lot of question marks with the Giants quarterback situation. I think the Raiders win. Not very pretty, but they win.
I agree.
Forward, this will be the game of the week in my opinion. Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, this is probably going to be the big game
Of the
of the
week it is.
week. Even though the Dallas Cowboys killed the Rams,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're not going to kill the Philadelphia Eagles.
No.
I'm sorry, but it's like happens. I feel like it happens every time. When Dallas beats someone a lot, they lose. For example, even though they won, they shut out the Giants and the Jets, two horrible teams. And then once they face the third horrible team, which is the Cardinals, which they lost against the Cardinals, and when they smoked the Patriots 38-3, they lost to the 49ers 42-10. And they barely won against the Chargers, and they beat the Rams in double digits 43-20. So I think this streak is still going to continue, and they're going to lose against the Eagles.
You got Philly.
I got Philly on this one. I don't think
I do too.
I don't think the whole Dallas Cowboys team is, I want to say, not good enough to beat the Philadelphia, but it's not looking, it's not going to be looking good for Dallas in this game. It's probably going to be close. Probably
Oh, it's gonna be
in the first half. It's probably going to be close against the first half, but Philadelphia is a second half team. They will come out and they will run the ball and score in the end zone probably every chance that they get in the second half. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles over the Dallas Cowboys.
And I have the Eagles as well. The Eagles actually going into the fourth quarter were tied with the Commanders, but the Eagles then just flipped a switch and scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. It's hard to
Yep.
do. So their offense got really explosive to close the game. Hopefully that does a little bit to help click Jalen Hurts back to himself. He had all his damage done in the air, 4 touchdowns, 319 passing yards. He only had 6 rushing yards. Swift had a touchdown. Smith and Brown at receiver both had great games. The Commanders played him tough, so they're still kind of, I don't know. You know how earlier in this, a couple podcasts ago, I said they're winning games, but they're stuttering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a beautiful car, like it's beautiful, but the engine's kind of messed up, and it still drives, and it's beautiful, but it goes every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Eagles remind me of. Hopefully that fourth quarter was able to kind of get them going. I still have them winning this game. Dallas was able to kick the ass of the Rams. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Give me the Eagles in overtime.
Ooh, overtime game.
I think it's
Okay.
going to be a very good game. I just trust Jalen Hurts more than I trust Dak Prescott. I trust Nick Sirianni more than I trust Mike McCarthy. Give me Philly.
Yeah, we all know you have that nice little story with Mike McCarthy and the Packers when he was the Packers head coach.
I will say this. As times went on, he had a bad last year and a half there.
I would probably say 2.5 years, but yeah,
Yeah, but you
maybe
look at
3.
Mike McCarthy, won us a Super Bowl. He's going to be in the Packers Ring of Honor. He's made the playoffs many times, many times. When he was the coach and Aaron Rodgers in the 2010s, we were an automatic playoff berth. Boom,
Mm-hmm.
automatically made the playoffs every year. So as times went on, Mike McCarthy, I miss you, because I wish we could relive those glory days again. But before I start shedding a tear, moving forward, this actually could be the game of the week.
Well, you didn't act like that with that 2.5, 3 years that he was there when he was making horrible decisions.
I was not, but I've realized over time that as a Packer fan, I have been spoiled. So I need to be more grateful. Maybe the football gods will be kind this week because they need to be. So moving, this could be the game of the week. Sunday Night Football, a good one. The Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh man, it's a good game. Cincinnati did come back.
Mhm.
Right now they're on a 3-game winning streak right now, so it's good for them. Good for them. But I think that winning streak is coming to an end. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to come back with this game. I'm picking
Oh
Buffalo.
boy. Oh boy. Because we're different. I think Cincinnati wins this game. I think Cincinnati's back on track. They started the season really horribly, and I am proud of myself. I'm proud of you as well. Because neither one of us, even though I got very close to doing it, neither one of us sold our stock on the Bengals, and now we look smart. Because they just went out there and whooped the 49ers and scored 31 points on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow, 3 touchdowns, 283 yards. Jamar Chase, 10 catches, 1 touchdown. Joe Mixon got a touchdown. T. Higgins had 69 yards. So the Bengals offense is starting to look like itself. They're starting to look like them again. I think Joe Burrow's getting healthy as the season goes on. The injury's kind of fading away. I think Buffalo wins this. I'm not Buffalo, excuse me. I think Cincinnati wins this game. Buffalo, yes, they're winning games. But you look, their last couple of wins, they beat the Buccaneers by 6. They lost to New England. And then they beat the Giants by 5. So yes, Buffalo is still a good team. But there's something missing. I'm not sure what it is. Cincinnati wins.
Okay.
Here's one I've been waiting to talk about. The LA Chargers or at the New York Jets. This is Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football.
Ow!
Oh. I mean, can't believe I'm actually really thinking about this one, but I am. I'm honestly really thinking.
Oh, I'm not.
The Jets, they, even though they did beat Denver, Philly, and the Giants in overtime. So right now they are on a 3-game winning streak. So, good job for the Giants. I mean, the Jets. God dang it. Once again, I'm looking at the Jets logo and I'm seeing the Giants as well. So, another blooper.
Blooper part 2.
Another blooper. But no, I'm probably going to I am going to pick the Chargers in this one. I think the Chargers defense is way too good for Zach Wilson and that offense. So, even though the Chargers are 3-4 and the New York Jets are 4-3, I think the Chargers are a lot better team than what the Jets are, especially on offense and defense. So give
And
me the Chargers.
I agree, and I'm proud of myself because last week I said the Chargers will continue doing what the Chargers do. They're going to beat the Bears. They're going to kick their ass. Herbert's going to look outstanding, which he did because he had 3 touchdowns, 298 yards on prime time. So people are going to be fooled because they beat Tyson Bagnet and the Bears. So people are going to go, oh, the Chargers are back. And they're going to do it again this week because the Chargers are going to win. They're going to get to 500. They're going to Justin Herbert, who is this generation's Tony Romo, and is overrated, is going to go out there, win a game on primetime against the Jets, and barely beat Zach Wilson. And people are going to say, oh, the Chargers are back. The Chargers are back. Oh, my goodness. 2 primetime wins in a row. And then they're going to falter and lose in the playoffs, like they always do. So that's what's going to happen. The Chargers are going to win this game. Give me the Chargers.
Okay.
All right, me and JB are going to flip over to the war of the NBA and do another subtopic. So, JB, give me one thing in the NBA you want to talk about right now that happened the first week of the season. You have 1 minute because it's a subtopic. So, let me get my stopwatch out here. Go.
I'm probably going to go with the James Harden trade to the Los Angeles Clippers. Even though it was a good trade, but it's once again they have another rest player that does it quite frequently, and what I was told that he's not going to play in the Clippers game, but PJ Tucker is. So with that being said, it's going to be just another one of those teams where all four of the teams, or not the teams, but the players, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, I'm pretty sure all four of them are going to rest on one day, on the same day, and it's going to look horrible. So, but yeah, that's James Harden. He's still a good player, but still a good player, but I think he's lost it.
He's too difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
And actually, that's going to kind of, how you talk about resting, that's actually going to lead into my topic here. My topic starts now, and I want to talk about player resting because here's the players that have already missed games this season. You look, and Devin Booker's missed games already. Donovan Mitchell's missed games. Jimmy Butler's missed games. Halliburton has missed games. De'Aaron Fox has missed games. Kyrie Irving's missed games. And Bam Adebayo's missed games. So all of those players are all-star players. They're already resting and the season's like 3 minutes in. Now, I think the NBA Cup is stupid. I just hope that these players, that they're maybe resting them. Maybe they're resting them at the start to make the NBA Cup more. Maybe they'll play them in the NBA Cup. Because the NBA Cup to me means nothing. I think it's a participation award. But when it came out, if you remember, I did say this. That I hope that the NBA Cup will be a success if it stops player resting. So let's see how the NBA Cup goes. I am tired of seeing players rest. Go out there and play basketball. Stop being a pussy. That's all I want to say.
I'm gonna say about this. Have you looked at the courts? All the teams' courts during the cup.
Some of them look cool.
Some of them look cool. I don't know why they don't. Yes, I know it's the finals, but why don't they do that with some of the courts in some games?
They used to. They got to bring that back.
It shows something different other than seeing the plain court, the brown wood.
It's creative.
It's like bring some color. Like
yes, it's creative.
Like I don't know, get in some of the jerseys, some of either the throwbacks, or I'll probably say I'm gonna say this: Miami Heat has the best jerseys in the league.
Absolutely.
But get those courts in the finals. So but yeah, I just think it's funny.
I agree. I like the courts. Speaking of that, that's all we have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. JB, anything else you want to say?
Nothing really other than fire Matt Canada. Should have done it when the Raiders done it, but can't do anything about it. So I guess we're just going to be stuck with Matt Canada for this the rest of the season. But I'm still going to say it until it happens. So fire Matt Canada.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you. Your team has a winning record.
At least honestly, I'd rather have your offensive coordinator than Matt Canada. Won't we switch for a day and see how you like it? Our defense wins. Our defense wins the games. That's it. Our defense outscored. Our defense outscored our offense. I don't know how many times.
I will trade you Matt Canada for Joe Barry.
Is he the defensive coordinator?
Yes.
No.
My point exactly. Speaking of that, like, subscribe, hit the bell, like us on Facebook, check out the Sports Fact of the Day. We're getting a little more active on our Facebook page, so the link in the description will be below. JB's always pretty good on that, on the technological side. Thank goodness, because I am not. The only thing I want to say is don't fire Joe Barry. Not yet, at least, because our offense is pathetic. The Packers have to win this week. It's a requirement. It's going to happen because I don't know what's going to happen if we don't. And I will end it on that. JB, anything?
None than that, other than go Heat and go Steelers.
And go Pack go, and let's go Heat. See you next week.
See you next week. See you.